a call. Through doubts and fears, find your inner thrall. Every setback a chance to reclaim. Let your passion ignite, let it flame.
Welcome to the Living Well, Living Rich podcast. You know that feeling? That nagging sensation maybe of being stuck in your career, like you're just sort of going through the motions, or maybe just completely overwhelmed by all the choices out there. It brings up that really fundamental question, doesn't it? How do you find a career that truly ignites your spirit? It's a powerful one, and honestly, it's something so many of us grapple with, no matter where we are in our working lives. Well, today we're doing something a bit special. We're embarking on a deep dive into this really extraordinary guide. It promises to, well, illuminate that very path. We're focusing on an incredibly insightful book called Discovering Your Path, a guide to passion-driven careers by Dr. Shu Chen Hou. Think of this deep dive as like your personal roadmap. We're distilling the core principles, the actionable steps from her work, kind of custom tailored for you, to unlock your potential and really build a career you deserve. What I found is so compelling about Dr. Hou's approach is how she manages to merge this deep self-reflection with really tangible strategies. It makes the whole thing feel, well, genuinely achievable.
It really does. And what's fascinating, I think, is how Dr. Hou doesn't just offer advice. She provides a framework for deep introspection that then translates pretty directly, actually, into practical career navigation. So our mission today really is to extract those most impactful nuggets from the book, to really connect the dots between that crucial self-discovery and how it fundamentally shapes, a fulfilling professional life. We'll be exploring not just the what, but maybe more importantly, the why behind finding work that resonates so deeply.
Okay, let's unpack this journey then, starting with those really foundational concepts. Passion and purpose. Dr. Hou really challenges our traditional ideas of passion, doesn't she? Moving it beyond just like a hobby. She frames it as the compass we need, especially now in an era where job security feels, well, almost like a relic. And the gig economy demands constant adaptation.
Right. And this is where her definition becomes so crucial. Dr. Hou defines passion as this dynamic intersection. 4 key elements: what you love, what you're genuinely good at, what the world truly needs, and importantly, what you can actually get paid for. What's really insightful here, I think, is that these aren't static boxes you just tick off. The real work, and maybe the brilliance of her model, is understanding how these elements shift, how they interact, and how you find that equilibrium over time. It's about dynamic alignment, not some one-time discovery. And that alignment, that's what fuels motivation. It builds incredible resilience when, you inevitably face career challenges.
Yeah, that makes sense. So for you listening right now, this definition isn't just like academic. It helps cut through that overwhelming noise of options out there. It encourages you to embrace what the book calls a portfolio of passions, which I love. It feels like a really practical way to foster versatility, stay adaptable in today's job market. It lets you continually recalibrate that compass.
Exactly. And building on that idea, Dr. Hou asserts that purpose isn't just a luxury anymore. She calls it a necessity for fulfillment and growth. So if we connect this to the bigger picture, it raises a key question, right? For someone feeling stuck, maybe, or just starting out, why is identifying this purpose so absolutely critical today? Because I think a lot of people feel it's a nice to have, but she's arguing it's really essential.
Precisely. She argues that for career starters, it's their initial compass, guiding them through all those new options. But for someone feeling, stuck, maybe a career changer, discovering purpose becomes this liberating rediscovery. It's not just about finding a new job title. It's about reconnecting with what truly inspires them, reigniting that spark they might have lost. It really transforms the job search from this daunting task into, well, a purposeful quest.
And significantly, this focus on purpose also cultivates a more engaged, more motivated workforce overall. It really does impact more than just the individual. It leads to more innovative, more committed teams.
That makes profound sense, especially when you think about how quickly industries are changing. It's almost like you need that portfolio of passions just to keep up, to stay adaptable. So then Dr. Hou introduces this idea of aligning your unique values, things like, say, creativity, integrity, community, innovation with your work. But okay, let's be practical. For our listener who might be juggling a full-time job, maybe family, how does Dr. Hou suggest actually carving out the time for this deep self-reflection she recommends? That feels like a big hurdle for many.
That's a really critical point. And while the book outlines the steps, Dr. Hou implicitly addresses this by emphasizing consistency, even in small doses. She recommends starting with deep self-reflection, mainly through journaling, The key isn't finding huge chunks of time, necessarily, but integrating it into small, consistent practices. Asking yourself questions like, what activities make you totally lose track of time? What causes do you feel really drawn to support? What qualities do you admire in other people? Even just 10 minutes a day, done consistently, can build profound clarity over time. Then, once you start gaining clarity on your values, the next step is researching, looking into industries, specific roles that actually reflect those principles. So, for instance, if community impact is really high on your list, she suggests exploring nonprofits, maybe education, social enterprises, things like that.
Right. And what really stands out to me there is that this alignment isn't just about finding a job. It's about creating an environment where you genuinely thrive, bringing your best self to the table each day. And importantly, it's highlighted as a continuous process, isn't it? Not a one and done kind of thing. It's an ongoing conversation with yourself. Okay, now let's turn inward even further. Dr. Hou guides us through self-discovery, starting with assessing your skills. She makes that useful distinction between hard skills, the measurable ones like programming or knowing a language, and soft skills, which are more interpersonal things like empathy, communication, adaptability. Those are huge.
Absolutely. A comprehensive inventory is key. And she emphasizes looking beyond just your resume. Dr. Hou suggests reflecting on challenges you've successfully overcome, projects that brought you the most joy. But what's really insightful, I think, is her advice to actively seek feedback. Ask friends, family, maybe mentors. They often see things you don't. They can offer fresh perspectives, uncover talents you might overlook, or even spot strengths you didn't realize were marketable skills. Like if you love telling stories, well, that directly translates to excellent communication, maybe presentation skills.
And this insight really offers a fresh angle on uncovering your interests and hobbies, too. The book frames them so beautifully as the whispers of your soul. So, for you listening, it's about making a conscious effort. List those activities that make you lose track of time. Those moments where you're just so absorbed, hours just disappear.
Exactly. And it's not just about listing them passively. It's about revisiting childhood interests sometimes, trying new experiences. There's a lot of active experimentation involved, as she puts it. Dr. Hou emphasizes how these seemingly personal hobbies often translate into really valuable workplace skills. For instance, if you're passionately organizing community events in your spare time, that's a direct indicator, right?
Yeah.
Strong project management, leadership potential, negotiation skills. It shows us that our play can often reveal our deepest professional aptitudes.
Yeah, it connects the dots. And bringing it all together, Dr. Hou talks about identifying core values as your inner compass, those fundamental beliefs that really guide your actions. How do we actually pinpoint those deepest convictions? What's the process?
Well, the book outlines a few methods, like reflecting on moments of your greatest joy and fulfillment. What was happening? Why did it feel so good? Also, identifying qualities you genuinely admire in other people. What is it about them you respect? Getting clear on this acts like a powerful filter. It helps you evaluate potential job opportunities much more authentically, guides your decisions. For instance, she suggests jotting down, say, the top 5 qualities you respect and aspire to emulate. That alone can be incredibly clarifying for career choices.
Okay, so we've done this deep dive inward. We understand, hopefully a bit better, what drives us internally. The next crucial step, as Dr. Hou lays out, is then looking outward. How do we translate that self-knowledge into tangible career paths? This is where she guides us through exploring options and, importantly, setting actionable goals.
Right. She details using a whole variety of resources, but not just, passively scrolling. It's about active investigation. So, online platforms like LinkedIn, Glassdoor, great for job descriptions, skills needed, salary ranges, but also attending career fairs, tapping into your professional networks. And especially, she highlights conducting informational interviews, really getting those firsthand perspectives. What I really appreciate is her encouragement to seek inspiration from maybe less obvious, unconventional paths. And then to rigorously evaluate what you find. Use practical pros and cons lists. Think about job stability, growth potential, work-life balance, and crucially, that values alignment we talked about. It's a holistic view.
Which leads perfectly into networking. Dr. Hou really emphasizes that networking isn't just about collecting business cards, is it? It's about cultivating relationships that can genuinely inspire you, guide you, maybe even open doors you never knew existed.
Absolutely. Informational interviews, in particular, she points out, provide much deeper insights than any job description ever could. The book stresses crafting thoughtful questions beforehand, practicing active listening during the conversation, and seeing it as a two-way street. You're offering your perspective while you're learning from them. And things like joining specific industry groups or workshops, that's a fantastic way to connect with like-minded people authentically.
And for those who really need to kind of get their feet wet, understand the day-to-day reality, job shadowing and internships are introduced as these invaluable stepping stones. They offer a unique glimpse, she says, into different professions.
Oh, their value is immense. Across all stages, really. For career starters, yeah, it's about testing the waters. But for career changers, they're brilliant. You can explore entirely new industries without that full commitment yet. It lets you identify truly transferable skills in a real wing context. And for active job seekers, it's about gaining practical skills, cultivating those essential soft skills, communication, teamwork. It just makes you a much more competitive candidate.
So once you have a potential direction, it's all about planning, right? Dr. Hou then moves into goal setting. How does she distinguish between short-term and long-term goals? And why is that distinction so important for keeping momentum going?
Good question. Short-term goals are defined as, well, manageable, immediate objectives. Things that provide direction right now and build confidence. Like maybe update your resume this week or attend one networking event next month. Small steps. Long-term goals, on the other hand, those are your broader aspirations, your guiding star, if you will. For example, becoming a recognized leader in your field eventually, or maybe starting your own business down the line. They keep your purpose in sight. As Dr. Shu Chen Hou says in the book, discover what drives you, build the future you deserve. So that distinction, it helps you break down those huge, potentially overwhelming aspirations into manageable, motivating steps.
Right, it makes it less scary. And to really make those goals actionable, the book focuses heavily on SMART goals, creating a kind of roadmap for your career. Now, many of us have heard the SMART acronym, right? But what does Dr. Hou add to this often corporate feeling framework to really infuse it with your personal inner compass?
That's where her approach really shines, I think. While the SMART acronym itself, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound, is central, Dr. Hou emphasizes that the relevant part must be tied back directly to your deepest values and purpose. That's non-negotiable in her model. It's about transforming a generic tool into a profoundly personalized roadmap. So instead of a vague goal like, oh, I want to be successful, you apply these elements with your purpose right at the core. For instance, I will land a job as a marketing coordinator, specific in a nonprofit focused on environmental sustainability, relevant to values by December 31st, time-bound, after applying to 10 relevant positions per week, measurable and networking with 3 industry professionals, achievable steps. See how that feels different. Less like a chore, more like genuine self-direction, aligned with who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. What's really impactful there is that breaking down those big long-term visions into these SMART steps, it doesn't just make them seem achievable, it actually builds momentum and confidence along the way. It makes the whole journey feel less daunting, more like a series of small, manageable wins. Okay, let's transition now. Building your personal brand and mastering the job search itself, drawing from chapters 5 and 6. Dr. Hou emphasizes that crafting a compelling resume and cover letter, these are not just formalities, right? She calls them powerful tools that convey your unique story. So what's her secret? How do you make them actually stand out?
Well, it really comes down to storytelling and showing genuine enthusiasm. That's key. The book advises tailoring your resume, really tailoring it, to reflect not just your skills, but your enthusiasm for that specific role and that specific company. Use a compelling summary section right at the top. Quantify your achievements whenever possible. Numbers make a difference. And definitely integrate keywords from the job description naturally. For cover letters, it's about a strong opening hook, something that grabs their attention. Then connecting your past experiences directly to the job requirements and really showing genuine enthusiasm for the company's mission or work. It's about making a human connection, not just listing bullet points.
And this next insight feels particularly relevant today, leveraging social media for professional growth. Dr. Hou highlights the, transformative power of platforms like LinkedIn, maybe even Twitter or Instagram for amplifying your personal brand.
Yeah, she calls it curating a digital presence. It starts with the basics, a professional photo, an engaging summary on your profile. But the critical part is active engagement, not just passive observation. This means actually contributing to discussions in your field. Sharing relevant insights, showcasing your expertise, maybe through case studies you worked on, articles you write, or even just thoughtful comments on others' posts. This really builds your reputation as someone knowledgeable, an authority, and it keeps you top of mind when opportunities arise.
Right. And reaching back to a theme we touched on earlier, Dr. Hou revisits the power of personal networking. She emphasizes again, it's about cultivating relationships that inspire growth, foster collaboration, and ignite new possibilities. Less about taking, much more about contributing.
Precisely. She details authentic engagement, focusing on reciprocity. Offering support and insights just as much as you might seek them. Attending industry events, joining professional groups, those are definitely key activities. But the real power often lies in the follow-up and sustaining those connections over time. A truly robust network, she says, can give you a competitive edge. Through referrals, inside information, genuine opportunities that might never even get advertised publicly. As Dr. Shu Chen Hou puts it so well, find your purpose, follow your path, achieve your dreams. Networking is a huge part of following that path.
Okay, so summarizing the job search strategies then, it sounds like it's this blend of deep self-reflection, strategic networking, crafting compelling documents that tell your story, and leveraging technology purposefully.
Yes, all of that, but you absolutely must add the critical element of resilience and a positive mindset. Rejection is, let's face it, an almost inevitable part of the job search journey for most people. But Dr. Hou frames it not as a failure or a setback, but as an opportunity for growth, for refinement, for learning. That mindset is crucial.
Okay, moving on to actually getting the job, acing the interview. Dr. Hou stresses, and I think we all know this intuitively, that preparation is your most powerful tool. What's her core advice here?
Well, it starts with thorough company research. You need to understand their mission, their values, recent news. Then, analyzing the job description carefully to anticipate likely questions. She strongly recommends using the STAR method: situation, task, action, result for answering behavioral questions effectively. It gives structure and impact. And paying close attention to nonverbal communication, things like eye contact, posture, your overall energy. She even suggests using visualization techniques beforehand to reduce anxiety, helping you project confidence and, importantly, authenticity during the interview.
And finally, those often overlooked, but as she calls them, vital steps. Following up after the interview and negotiating offers. A lot of people feel really awkward about negotiation, don't they?
They do, but it's so important. First, the follow-up. A thoughtful, tailored follow-up message sent promptly can be incredibly powerful. It reinforces your interest and professionalism. Then, for negotiation, Dr. Hou stresses doing your homework. Research industry salary standards for that role and location, and really importantly, assess the entire compensation package: salary, benefits, vacation, professional development opportunities, everything. Communicate openly and effectively. Frame the discussion around mutual benefits for both you and the employer. What's particularly important here, she notes, is timing. You need to balance promptness in your communications with thoughtful deliberation before accepting. It sends a strong signal about your seriousness and your value.
Okay, great advice. Now let's explore how to sustain this journey. We've landed the passion-driven role, hopefully, drawing from the later chapters, thriving, growing, and inspiring others. Once you're in that new career, how does the book suggest you approach the inevitable challenges to truly thrive?
Yeah, getting the job is just the start, right? It's all about embracing the learning curve. Viewing obstacles not as roadblocks, but as genuine opportunities for growth. Cultivating a robust growth mindset, believing you can develop your abilities. And actively seeking mentorship, whether formal or informal. This also extends, crucially, to building authentic relationships within the workplace, not just with your direct team, but across different departments. That gives you diverse perspectives and builds a strong support network.
And a topic that's so crucial for, well, everyone maintaining work-life balance, especially when you're deeply passionate about your work, the lines can blur. What does Dr. Hou advise here for personal fulfillment and well-being?
This is huge in the book. She details the importance of setting clear boundaries between work and personal life. Really embracing self-care, and that means holistically, physical, emotional, and mental health, making time for what rejuvenates you, using effective time management techniques like to-do lists, time blocking, prioritizing ruthlessly, and fostering a supportive community outside of work too, friends, family, hobbies. She understands that when you're passion-driven, it's easy to let work consume everything. So that intentional self-care is absolutely paramount for sustained success and avoiding burnout. As Dr. Shu Chen Hou reminds us, unleash your potential and thrive in a career you're meant for. Thriving includes balance.
Absolutely. And thinking longer term about continuous growth, why is lifelong learning framed not just as a choice, but as a transformative mindset in her view?
Well, it's seen as vital because things change so fast, right? Cultivating curiosity, actively seeking constructive feedback, finding mentors, and adapting readily to change. These are the keys to remaining relevant, innovative, and valuable in today's constantly evolving job market. These practices foster resilience. They equip you to continuously grow and explore new possibilities rather than becoming stagnant or outdated in your skills.
And here's where it gets really inspiring, moving beyond just ourselves. How can sharing one's own unique story actually inspire others on their journey? It feels like a powerful ripple effect.
It really is. Dr. Hou discusses the profound power of sharing your authentic narrative and focusing not just on the successes, but on the lessons learned from setbacks and challenges. That often resonates more. Clarifying your own values through telling your story, engaging in dialogue that fosters a sense of community. It's also about the transformative journey, she says, of becoming a mentor yourself eventually, and actively helping to create a community of passion-driven professionals. You essentially become a beacon for others who are still seeking their own path.
Wow. And as we sort of conclude the book's core journey, it brings us right back to reflection and future vision. Why is reflection highlighted as such a powerful ongoing practice?
Because reflecting on those pivotal moments, the big achievements, yes, but also the obstacles overcome, the mentors who guided you, helps you truly understand how your past experiences have shaped your current aspirations and your personal growth. This understanding then naturally informs how you set new goals. Ambitious, yes, but also authentic aspirations, always using those SMART principles we discussed. The book describes this not as reaching some final endpoint, but as an ongoing quest for passion and fulfillment. It's a deeply personal journey that requires continuous introspection, honesty with yourself, and, frankly, courage.
So let's talk about the visionary behind this incredible guide, Dr. Shu Chen Hou. She's the author of Discovering Your Path, a guide to passion-driven careers. And her own journey is actually quite inspiring, isn't it? Moving from science into literature, music, and eventually entrepreneurship.
Oh, absolutely. Her personal story is really the bedrock of her work in her company. She founded Kokoshungsan Ltd, and it seems truly driven by this deep personal passion for making education accessible to everyone. The story behind Kokoshungsan, which you can find on their site, is particularly touching. It was inspired directly by her parents' emphasis on both creativity and the importance of lifelong learning. It's this beautiful blend of art, knowledge, and personal growth fueling a powerful mission. It feels like much more than just a business. It feels like a legacy she's building.
Yeah, you get that sense. And what started out, maybe smaller, as a collection of ebooks has now really evolved into this global digital platform, offering just a huge array of educational content, audiobooks, comprehensive online courses, even English learning resources designed specifically for children. It's become a real hub for growth.
And their mission is crystal clear when you look into it. To foster personal development, yes, professional growth, absolutely, and financial independence, all through accessible education. But their commitment seems to go even further, really embedding social impact into what they do. Things like promoting education accessibility globally, advocating for social equity, supporting sustainable development initiatives. There's a great quote on their website, Kokoshungsan.net. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. That really sums up their ethos.
It does. So, for you listening, choosing Kokoshungsan, engaging with their resources, it means investing in your own future, definitely. But it also feels like you're supporting a larger cause simultaneously, bringing education to those who might lack access, contributing to environmental protection efforts, helping create a more equitable society. It genuinely feels like a movement for global change, allowing you to live well and live rich in that much broader, more meaningful sense.
Wow. Well, this deep dive into discovering your path has been, I think, an incredible guide. From those crucial initial steps of profound self-discovery all the way to that long-term vision of inspiring others, it really feels like it equips you, the listener, to build a career that truly resonates with your deepest passions, helping you find not just, surface-level success, but profound fulfillment. So I'll leave you with this thought-provoking question, kind of building on Dr. Hou's vision. What unexpected path might you discover if you truly allow your unique blend of creativity and that innate passion for learning to guide you?
Especially if you allow yourself the grace to experiment, to explore, and to adapt along the way. To continue your own journey of self-discovery and growth, we highly, highly encourage you to explore the wealth of resources available by visiting Kokoshungsan.net. As we've discussed, it's really more than just a platform. It's a movement for global change that you can be a part of, helping you live a life that is both well-lived and truly rich in purpose. We really hope this deep dive has empowered you, and honestly, we look forward to hearing about the incredible paths you discover.
The silence of night dreams blissful call. Through doubts and fears find your inner thrall. Every setback a chance to reclaim. Let your passion ignite, let it flame. Soar like a phoenix through darkest skies. Let your spirit shine, let your soul rise. Trials and lessons, every step a burn. With each stride, let your fire churn. In doubt obstacle, find strength, stand tall. In adversity's face, defy and enthralled. Stumbles lead to peaks, challenges you seek. Every hurdle a lesson, every trial unique. Soar like a phoenix through darkest skies. Let your spirit shine, let your soul rise. Trials and lessons, every step will burn with each stride. Let your fire churn, break free, leave chains behind. Embrace the unknown, heart refined. In every moment your greatness is sown. Your story's power, let it be known. Soar like a phoenix through darkest skies, let your spirit shine, let your soul rise. Trials, hours of lessons, every step a burn. With each stride, let your fire churn. Break free, leave chains behind. Embrace the unknown, heart refined. In every moment, your greatness is sown. Your story's power, let it be known. Soar like a phoenix, the darkest skies, let your spirit shine, let your soul rise. Hours and lessons in the silence of night. Dreams whisper a call through doubts and fears. Find joy in the fall. Every setback a chance to reclaim. Let your passion ignite, let it flame. Soar like a phoenix, the darkest skies, let your spirit shine, let your soul rise.